Hello beautiful people, you're welcome to Gift God's Time channel. To all my returning subscribers, I want to thank you for your support, and to my new viewers, you're welcome to the family. So I'm going to be teaching you how to achieve this petticoat for kids. It gives volume to ball dresses and tutu skirts. Now the previous video I did a tutu skirt, we were both wearing this petticoats beneath, and as you can see from this video, this is the tutu skirt with and without the petticoats. Kindly stay tuned. So for this project, you'll be needing your hard net. I'm using black for it. You can also use white. Now you'll be using this bone in the plastic one. I'm using 1/2 inch. Next, you're going to be using your bias. Your bias must match with your net because it's going to encase it. And lastly, elastic band. So now I'm going to fold this net into two. I'm going to be cutting half circle. So I already did many tutorials on how to cut half circle on my channel. So you just fold your the nets into two, which is also your fabric. Now how you're going to take your measurement, you're going to take your waist measurement, you're going to add extra 10 inches, then you're going to divide it by 3.14. So this is actually my own petticoat, but it's the same method I use for cutting the kit. So that's why the measurement is ranging to this value. So after getting the radius, you're just going to mark from the top part and get the circle to curve it, and then you're going to cut it out. So if you're working with a child, the child waist is 22, you add extra 10 inches, that's 32, then you divide by 3.14, then you cut the value. Next, you're going to determine how long you want the petticoat to be. Now the petticoat is not meant to show, so it's going to be shorter than the either the tutu skirt you're making or the ball dress you are making. So it's going to be shorter with 2 inches. It's not meant to be long, so you're just going to determine the length in which you want to work with. It's not going to be long, it's not going to be the same length with your main dress or tutu skirt. So after cutting it off, this is how it is. So this is way longer than our waist measurements. We're going to shrink it using the elastic. So next, you're going to divide it. So what I got here, you're going to divide it evenly to put the casing. So the division I'm talking about is having different segments. So I'm going to be marking 3.5 inches for my segment. The length I'm working with is 13 inches. So I'm just going to be marking 3.5, 3.5. So that's what I did from the top. I marked 3.5 downwards, and then I marked another 3.5, and then I'm going to mark another 3.5, and the down part I'm also going to make it as a segment. So altogether I have 4 segments. It's divided into 4. So this is where I'm going to be placing my bias on these lines that I have marked. So I'm going to mark the lines all through from one end to the other end, as you can see from the video. Now I'm going to take so this is it. This is the marked point. As you can see, I did it from one edge to the other edge. I'll take my bias tape now, and I'm going to be placing it on this marked region. So I will be using my safety pin, my pins, to help me to guide the bias to stay in one place. So I'm not putting my bias from the edge. I'm leaving a little bit more, as you can see from the video. Then I'm going to place my bias till I get to the other edge. So I'm going to take it to my sewing machine. I'm going to sew the first part that is close to the edge, the bias, the upper part. I'm going to sew it very, very close to the edge. I'm going to run a stitch from one end to the other end. So by the time I'm done sewing this, I'm going to show you what I'm explaining. So this is it. I'm going to zoom it now for you to see. I've made a stitch at the upper part, so this other part is not stitched. I'm going to stitch it now very, very close to the edge. So this is the down part of the bias, the same bias. I'm going to stitch the down part all through till I get to the end, the same way I did. So I'm going to do for the 4 of them, as you can see. So this is where I'm going to be placing my plastic boning. These channels, I'm going to be placing it inside. And like I explained, you're going to leave a little bit of bias from the beginning parts before sewing. So now I'm going to take my plastic boning, which is 1/2 inch, because after stitching it, what you're going to arrive will be 1/2 inch. So I'm going to stitch, I'm going to insert my boning, plastic boning, inside this casing and till I get to the other end and bring it out. After bringing it out, the excess, I'm going to cut it off. So you're just going to arrange it, make sure that there is no squeezed parts. That's what I'm doing there. So this extra excess, I'm going to cut it off. Then next, I'm going to insert my second boning for the second segment. I'm just going to do the same till I get to the last part. So this is it. So now this last part, I'm going to show you how to insert your boning. Now you don't place your boning anyhow you feel like. No, the way the boning is, the way it's curved like this is how you're going to place it. You're not going to flip it like this and turn it. No, it's going to give you an awkward shape. The petticoat is not going to form. So the way the boning is facing, that's how you're going to insert it in. After that, I'm going to place right side facing right side to stitch the to form one stitch. So this will be like the back part. So I'm just going to stitch it. When I get to the boning part, I'm going to skip it. I'm not going to stitch it because it will break your needle. It's not going to pass. So I'm just going to skip those parts. So I'm done sewing the hard knit. I did not sew the part that the boning is. Next, I'm going to be bringing out that the bias and the boning, that part that I did not sew. Like I explained, it's going to break your needle. So I'm going to bring it out. So this is it when it's out. Next, what I'll be doing, I'm going to be cutting the extra boning we left, because you can't just cut equally so that it's not lost inside. So you just have to leave a little bit. You're still going to trim them at the end. That is when you get to this part. So I'm just cutting this extra and still leaving some again, because I will use either my hot glue or my tape to glue them together. So you can use your hot glue, but I will advise it's better to use this either masking tape or sellotape to just wrap the two boning together so that it's together. It's not moving and poking the child or the individual wearing it. So you're just going to seal it up very well. So this is how it is. So next, you're going to take the extra bias you left. That's why I told you to not to start the bias from the beginning. You have to leave extra. So you're just going to cut it off and then seal it up the way I'm sealing it. The video explains it very much better. So you're just going to seal it up. Next, you're going to use your thread and needle and stitch it using hand stitch. So to just give it a finishing touch. You can also use your hot glue to just glue them together, but I'm going to be using my thread and needle to stitch them together. So that is what I'm going to be showing you right here, but I'll be very fast. It's just a normal stitch. There's nothing special about it. After all, the petticoat is going inside of the outfit. It's not visible. So it's just to make your work look neat. There's nobody seeing it. It's just to give it that volume for a dress or skirt or whatever you want to give volume to. So this is it. This is this hand stitch I made. So it's just a normal stitch. It's not a big deal. So this other down part, I'm still going to seal it up the same way I did for the rest. I'm just going to overlap it. As you can see from the video, just use the bias to seal up the boning case. That's how I'm going to do it. As you can see from the video explains much better. So the same way I use my hand stitch to stitch the rest, I'm going to do so. So this is it. This is how it is. So we are 50% done. Now is to insert the elastic. So you're just going to take your elastic. You can sew you can stitch it down like this, because I'm using a zigzag stitch, that's why I did it like that. But you can also join them together and just stitch it. It's not a big deal, it's not going to lose. So after doing that, you're going to now divide your petticoat into two. So this part that we sew is the back part, so we're going to get the front. So that's why I'm folding it into two, just to get the front part. When you get the front part, you're going to notch it. This is very helpful. It's very, very helpful. So next, after getting the front part, you're going to fold it again and fold it again, so that you could get the sides. So after getting the sides, you're going to notch it again. So you now have 4 parts being notched on the skirt itself. 4 parts are being notched on the petticoat skirt itself. This is helpful in placing your elastic. So next, we are going to go to the elastic parts, and we are also going to mark those points. You're not going to notch your elastic. You won't notch your elastic. You're going to mark it with your chalk. So the part I already stitched together will form the back part. So I'm going to fold it into two and then mark it. Why? For the skirt we notched, so I'm just going to mark it. So after folding it into two and mark, I'm going to fold it again the same way I did for the skirt. I'm going to fold it again into 4. I'm just marking on both sides, just to be, just so that it's visible. I'm just marking. It's not really necessary. So I'm folding it again on that is into 4. So I'll mark this other part. So this part is showing that these are the sides. So I've gone ahead to mark 4 points right now. So I'm just marking the inside as well. Like I said, it's not necessary. So, but it's just so that you know the points that are marked. Now I'm going to be merging all these points that I've marked from to the petticoat. Now the back part, I'm going to align it with the back part of the petticoat, as you can see. Then next, I'm going to take the side that I have marked. I'm going to match it up with the notch part of the side of the petticoat. So that's what I'm going to do right there. Then the front part too will be the same thing. That is how I'm going to do it all through. So that's why I said the marking and the notching part, it's very important, so that by the time you're stretching your elastic, you know which point to which point you are stretching, so that they are evenly spread. So that is the essence of this notching and the marking. So that's what I'm doing. So I'm done attaching it. I'll be taking it to my sewing machine to sew. So now I'm placing the elastic on top of the petticoat, the skirt. Now, why you need to stretch your elastic is because your elastic is not the same measurement with it. Now, the elastic I'm working with, for example, your waist is 22 inches. You will subtract 5 inches from the elastic, meaning you'll be having 17 inches. You're working with 17 inches, and the petticoat waist, you've added extra 10 inches to your waist, so you're going to stretch it so that it's going to fit properly. So that is why we are stretching it. It's because it's not your waist measurement. So this is how it is. I'm done with it. As you can see, you won't even know that it's what's being stretched to this essence. So this is the petticoat, and this is the seam part. Sorry about that. This is the seam part. It's still well knit, and this is it on the child with the tutu skirt. And it's a requested video, especially on this blue dress. Now this blue dress, the petticoat is longer. Please do not forget to like this video and subscribe. Bye.